Wait. Hold on. Let me get the whole idea. So you're saying if I said I want to do Bufo and Bagua and give them the Qigongs. And I said I want to give them over a 3-day period, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then have the chef there, have the massage going on, do the Bufo Saturday morning. You're saying I should introduce the Tesla coil on Friday or Saturday morning before I give them the Bufo?
Yeah, before.
Okay, why should I give them the Tesla? Why should I introduce the Tesla coil before I do Bufo? That's what you was about to explain.
Right, because that's pure voltage. Okay, you don't have any current in there, so that's just like pure voltage. So you actually are charging up the blood. Okay, so you're charging up the blood cells to expedite healing. It's going to help the person. It's going to elevate their awareness. It's going to increase your awareness with it. Okay, and so by you doing that, once you partake in the entheogen, you're already on you're already on a higher frequency because the blood is moving faster. And recall that the blood should move at the speed of
light.
Right, and many times we're sedentary, and we do have, a sedentary lifestyle for the most part. Just the way that it is right now. So then you start enhancing that. So which is one of the reasons when I say you do a blood electrification treatment, a beta endorphin treatment, and or with the Tesla to enhance it after you take that off.
When people hear Tesla, they think of car. So what is the Tesla coil that you mean? What is a Tesla coil? How does it work?
Well, the Tesla coil is a straight shot of voltage, man. It's generated by high capacitance. So the capacitance holds it, then it discharges, and so you have quite a series of capacitors that don't have any resistors in there. So you're getting really a high amount of straight voltage. And when you use that, that's what our cells are searching for, is desiring that charge. And you use that Tesla coil to enhance the experience.
People are afraid of getting shocked. People are afraid of electricity. So why won't the Tesla coil?
All right now.
Greetings. Why won't the Tesla coil shock you?
Well, you're going to feel it, but it's not like a regular...
What's the difference between the Tesla coil and the fence around the cows?
Yeah, well, one of them is grounded. The fence around the cow is grounded, man. So you on the ground, and it's looking for a ground because there's a lot more current involved in that. Okay? Whereas when we're dealing with voltage, we talk about the potential there and what can come out of that potential voltage. All right. Whereas when current, there's a lot of devices out here on the market and that use more current. And current can be dangerous if it's not tempered right. Okay. Whereas high voltage, or especially the one that's created through this process, through the Tesla process, it's not gonna harm you like that. I mean, I don't know if you ever seen any of the pictures of Tesla or anything in that, when they have that halo of electricity that's doing the charge. It's actually they're charging up your cells.
So are you saying use the Tesla gun, or I got to get the whole globe? They got the little Tesla gun.
I know they got the globe, but I'm just saying use the globe. I mean, use the gun because you have the option to send the charge to certain places, certain acupuncture points.
What?
Yes.
So you're not going to just scan the whole body. Some people just come with the Tesla gun and just be like zzz, going all over your whole body.
Well, you can do that. However, but if you have some information, or if you're talking to a person and find out some of their personal history, then perhaps you can zero in on some targeted areas, some specific areas that they need to be addressed.
Like, so you saying that somebody holding trauma in different places in the body, so you can hold.
Wherever there's trauma, drama, a divided mind, whatever. Right, most of it is a divided mind anyway.
What? So
the divided mind. Yeah.
What is a divided mind? Why that? Hold on. So are you suggesting that Bufo can help a divided mind?
I would absolutely say so. Absolutely 100%.
So now you're saying Bufo and Tesla Coil will help a divided mind.
Yes.
What are some symptoms? Give me 3 symptoms. Give me your worst case divided mind that you've seen in your practice over the last 25 years. Shit, you can do the last 6 months. Last 6 months, give me 3 examples of divided, because you can't tell nobody's name, but give me 3 examples of a divided mind in the last 6 months that you are telling the truth about. 3 examples.
Well, I saw a person come in that really would, you would think that they would have narcolepsy where they would just drop off and fall asleep, but this person would literally look at you and then just be talking to you 1 second and then just crash out. But this was a young person, I mean, a teenager, and it was, it was based upon certain actions that was taken, but he was unable to communicate once a certain entity just came in and just shut him down. Just absolutely just shut him down.
Hold on, just the first example.
Yeah, so because he came in a wheelchair.
Oh wow!
He came in a wheelchair. They brought him in a wheelchair.
So and the symptom was narcolepsy.
Well, you would term it narcolepsy because he would go out, but he couldn't communicate even though his senses were working. So if you touched him or something, he would move, but he couldn't open up his eyes. And then we do something else, then his eyes move.
Okay.
So that's definitely a divided mind.
What's the second example of a divided mind that you've seen?
Well, where we would work on someone, and the symptom would move to another part of the body.
So you mean like a migraine?
Let's say, for instance, an ankle pain.
Okay.
Then it would go over to the shoulder or the stomach and start hurting. So that's a divided mind process because it's a form of transference, because the issue or the energy or the symptom, for the most part, we can call it an entity, wants to destroy that person, or it may want to eradicate them, maybe want to wipe out their existence in many ways. So it's trying to find a way not to get into the heart, because the heart is where we want to. That's where the love is. That's where the vibration is. That's where the healing is. Okay. And then there's also times where I've even seen it personally in myself. That's why I can talk about the divided mind. Okay, where I'm working on.
You the third example. Now you the third example.
Absolutely. I was like, okay, well, I had some low back issues, and it'd be on the left side. Then we fix that, and then it go over to the right side. It'd be like, well, my goodness, what in the world is going on here, champ?
You thought you fixed it.
I thought I fixed it. Ran to the other side. So why is that happening? Another one, and this is, and we often see this anyway. If someone has had a knee replacement, and so this knee is good, then this knee starts to hurt. The opposite one, or the one that was replaced, hurts. So wait a minute now. So it must have been the body that was the problem. Because if the knee's hurting, the body would have had to be an issue, right? So now we go in there, we do surgery, okay, and they do, a rather invasive, gruesome surgery where they're cutting on the femur, and then they pick out the tibia and the fibula, and then they attach it, yes, and then they insert a rod in there and, sew it up. So it should be not a problem now because this is a mechanical device.
We done already fixed it.
We already fixed it. However, the mind it has blamed the body, but there is an emotion that's buried down in the subconscious, down in the body that doesn't want to be expressed. So the individual then is being tricked by the mind because it wants to blame the body, and body is really tired of taking the blame. Which is why it's really tired of taking the blame. But
Like it's my fault.
It's my fault, yeah. It's the body's fault. It's not the body's fault. No. You just didn't process that BS
Before you did it.
Before you did it. And it's just hanging around and just accumulating and accumulating and accumulating to the point where it gets stuffed down so much that now it can't go anywhere because we don't want to talk about it, verbalize it, express it. So now it's congested.
So now you talk about verbalizing and expressing. Let's get back to the Bufo. How does the Bufo come in your opinion and your experience, to help you express and verbalize? Because see, we need a doctor to explain this. Everybody else.
Well, you know, because the Bufo goes beyond the conscious mind. You know, it has the capacity to, you know, expedite the healing process because it goes beyond what we're thinking. Because oftentimes with Bufo, I know from personal experience, it's like, okay, what happened? Where did we go? You see, actually,
where did we go?
Where did we go? Right?
What happened?
What happened? Okay. Would you explain what happened while I was somewhere else?
You mean like physically, or?
I mean, how many ceremonies have you done?
200. So I'm almost at 300.
Okay.
I'm about 270 now.
And how many people have you done ceremony with that they didn't know what happened? While you was in there, they were still breathing.
Still breathing.
They were still breathing. They were moving.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely some movement.
There's definitely some movement in there, and then they were talking sometime or communicating in some capacity.
Wow.
But yeah, if you asked them what happened, they couldn't recall not one thing.
Not a millisecond.
Not a millisecond.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So,
however, they were expressing some things that they might not normally express when they are here in their conscious mind. Now, I have definitely heard people say some things. This is one of the reasons I got several reasons that I do Bufo like this, but one of them is when people will say things, I see that they are free. When they are conscious, they don't feel free to express some of these things.
Right, yeah.
But with the Bufo, they all of a sudden have this whole fearlessness thing. Now I'm talking about ain't no fear of saying nothing. This is why I really don't like couples going together. I don't know if I ever told you this, but like when I see a married couple be like, yeah, I want to go in there too. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, not for the first time. Well, my husband's a little worried, or my wife's a little worried. Can they sit in? I say, you may not be ready to hear something that's really real coming out of your partner's mouth right now. So let's wait and let them decide afterwards if they want to share this thing with you. Because I don't want Bufo to tear up no relationship. However, you know, if a woman is with a man and she think he a heterosexual and she in the room and all of a sudden he say something that indicates that he's not heterosexual and these things come out, he didn't, because like you said, he don't know where he at. He definitely don't know who's in the room no more. All that's gone. And then he say something and now I'm see y'all later. And now I'm stuck. Now I'm stuck looking like the bad guy because she done found out her husband is not what she thought.
and that is a example of a divided mind, right? Because
What?
Right, because it's buried beneath the surface. You know, because so often, if we are who we say, or if we express ourselves, are we going to be accepted? And that can go
And
back.
are we going to be shamed?
We're going to be shame, and that's going back to being accepted as a toddler.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're a good boy, you're a good girl, da 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 da, and anything that's outside of that being good is not accepted. But hey, look, we got the right hand and the left hand. So you know it's going to be one or the other. So here we come into the law of opposites.
Why do people bury things under these layers?
Because of fear, shame,
Conditioning?
well, the conditioning is there because we've been taught to have those things: fear, shame, stress, right? Okay, the stuff that we inherited or that we were taught in our family.
You can inherit fear?
Absolutely, that's called pre-heaven chi, man. yeah, that's so-called pre-heaven chi. You know that.
Is this
they call that DNA out here, right? Okay, it's like, you hear the words out here. That's what is used out here every day on the block and everything. How you doing today? Good, great.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Thank you. You too.
How'd you do that?
We working. We took some time. Yeah.
Getting some sunlight.
Keep it going. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So when they talk about sins of the father in the Bible, is that similar to being able to pass down fear? Is that what they're talking about? Or could they be referring to that when they say sins of the father?
They could be definitely saying that. I mean, from the origins of Asian medicine, as I know it, we call that pre-heaven chi. Is what we inherit from our parents.
Only your parents, or can it go back to grandparents and can it go back further?
The parents got it from their parents. So that could be grandparents. They could be a whole bunch of parents before those parents. So we're talking about greats, and how many greats we want to go back, and then this person, the current individual, has the opportunity to start to transform, starts to move it out if they're aware. So if they're using Bufo or some other entheogens or doing some other exercise to address that, then some healing and some transformation can take place, because ultimately it is about the transformation. It's about the transformation, and so many times the transformation is suppressed. Okay, and it can be suppressed by a lot of things, including taking herbs for this and herbs for that. And I know a lot of people are into the natural way, which I think is good, but there's still a level of suppression in that, because it's still going to transfer. I'm going to take this for this, I'm going to take this herb for that, and oftentimes it still bounces around.
Does Bufo care about how deep it's buried? Does Bufo care?
Not from my personal experience. And I'm sure not from yours.
When we say
we say it's not personal.
it's definitely not personal.
It's
It's
not
very
personal.
structural.
It's not it.
Now, when we say Bufo is undefeated, when you hear this, what does that term mean to you? Just personally, don't even speak for nobody else. Just when we say Bufo is undefeated, what does that mean to you? You come from a doctor perspective, or you come from a person who's experienced it. Either one. What does that mean to you when you hear Bufo is undefeated?
What it means to me is that the covers have been lifted off of these causes. He started to break down the fabric of the ego and the individual to a degree, and especially some of the things that get heavy. Because this goes back to those who travel the farthest, travel the lightest. So the most of the things that what Bufo is doing is helping a person come to terms with who they are, right, and what they represent, and being authentic. Because this is what we're really working for, is authenticity.
Yes.
Right. Because each one of us has our own purpose in life, our own rhythm, and in that way we can be accepted, because we're going to accept ourselves first, so then everybody else is going to be cool with us. And if they're not, we're going to be cool with it anyway. So be cool with me, whether you cool with me or not. And if and being a reflector, this is a great conversation, because this is really helping me say, okay,
Yes, ma'am.
it's not really, it's me, but hey, it's also you.
What you mean by that?
it means that hey, the mirror is in front of you, and being that it's a mirror in front of you, I'm just here being the mirror for you.
So you saying you would mix Bufo and human design together, along with Tesla Coils?
Well, we're talking about it right now. it just appeared.
Okay.
It just appeared, man.
Now,
I mean, don't blame me. You know, we're having this conversation. It's a basic conversation.
a very basic,
Just basic.
rudimentary. So would you? You said you. Oh no, it's
you
okay.
good. It was
So
wonderful.
you said introduce the Tesla coil before the Bufo. Would you also advise a dose of Tesla coil current after a Bufo ceremony?
Oh yeah, before and after. Why not? Yeah, you know, you want to close it, you want to open it, and then you want to close it. Makes sense.
I don't think that's ever been done before. Ever.
Well, it's the first time for every opportunity. I mean, hey, listen, it's a chance for us to explore because that's what we're here to do. Right?
That's what Kalindi said too. He said we're supposed to be able to go out there and see in the dark.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So what do you think about if it was set up like that? If it was a Friday night, came in, they had some good Tesla energy, some meditation, some dream planting, some good cannabis, a nice chef-prepared dinner, everybody go to bed, then Saturday morning is Bufo for everybody. Then we do a nice lunch after that, and then do some post-Tesla, and maybe throw a couple of needles in there. You know, hey, just throw some, just because. Drop a little bit more cannabis in there. And some. Then we come in with the human design and the integration around what people's experiences were. Because this is one thing I've noticed: after you do Bufo, you're looking for somebody that can relate. Because a lot of people, you can't go tell them. You say, man, you should try this, and then they look at you and want you to tell them why, and then you can't get it out your mouth. But when you look at somebody who's done Bufo and say, how was your experience? They say. They can't get it out their mouth, but they look at you and say, oh, since you can't speak it, you know what I'm talking about. So often Bufo people need to congregate with each other just so they can like be in like that little tribal thing of this experience that just happened. You see what I'm saying? Like you and Omega Psi-Phi. So everybody that was on your line that crossed over, they have a particular camaraderie and unity of, you know, what you fall or spring. So your spring line is different than the fall line that came before it. You see what I'm saying? So, and then Sunday, that's when I was saying, then let's throw in the Bagua. Because I want to throw in the 9 Dragon Bagua Qigongs that's in the gene keys in the Venus sequence. So in the Venus sequence, it's 4 hexagrams in everybody's chart that denote your 4 woundings. So the first one is your design Mars, which is your mother womb that you have nothing to do with. You didn't have anything to do with. So you can look in 88 days before you were born, look at your design Mars, and that's your mother womb. The second one, the second wound is the wound from 0 to 7. The third wound is from 7 to 14, and the fourth one is from 14 to 21, which in my opinion is the worst one because we have been conditioned to get out the house by 18, especially as black people. And then we start getting traumatized around 14 because our parents can't handle the stress and they start saying stuff like, I can't wait till you get out of here. I can't wait till you get out of here. But the parent doesn't realize how much psychological damage they're doing to a 14-year-old adolescent by saying, I can't, it's almost like forcing them into abandonment. And so now I see 20, 30, 40 years later, people coming to Bufo ceremonies and that coming up from being way, way, way suppressed from that 14 to 21 period. But you can have 4 postures using the 9 Dragon Bagua system and do just 10 breaths in each position once or twice a day. If I say for 30 days, and I can guarantee you're going to see healing in that area because in my opinion as a practitioner, the cause of all disease is dirty chi, and the cure for all disease is good chi. Now, whether you're getting it from water chi, from a water temple, whether you're sitting outside in the sun, getting vitamin D chi, whether you're getting a touch chi, you need better chi in your life. Everybody always I want a better car, I want a better ride, I want to be more comfortable. But we don't never think about the quality of energy that we're taking in. That's really our diet. When we talk, I don't eat meat, I don't do this. Yeah, but you listen to crazy things in your ear. You go around people who talk negative, or people who are always concerned about debt. People are always talking about fear or politics. These things affect our subconscious, but I want to do that whole Sunday with making sure everybody got their 4 postures.
That's a good point. That's a good way to integrate all of that, I think.
I see the scone made it.
No, absolutely did not.
Well, I'm glad it made it.
Oh yeah. It did hit
Out
the
the
ground.
wild.
Oh no.
It didn't go back to nature.
No. A couple hours
yet.
it will, but right
Not
now,
yet.
right. But right now we good.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right.
But you was saying that was a good combination.
It's a great combination because with Bufo, there's a lot of decompression happening because, we have so much pressure. And we do have pressure. You hear other people say, oh, it's full pressure, this and everything. And people are pressurized right there, over-pressurized. They're over-pressurized. That's what, and then people explode on people and they're not even the ones that it was targeted for, but they just happen to be in the way at that time when that discharge happened. Okay, so really, even if you go back to the 4 agreements, well, the first thing he says is don't take anything personal. Why is that? Because was it really intended for that individual, or were you just a catalyst for a person for that to come out? You think about it, even if you see incidents such as road rage, with a complete stranger. Okay, now we know there's such thing as karma, obviously.
Right.
But, seriously, was that intentional to say, I'm going to go out and get into some road rage today? Usually that's not the case.
Right.
Right? It's the trigger of something that was already stored. And it's like, hey, man, I can't take this anymore. I can't tote this, and then it just automatically comes out. And we have a society, especially in America, of people who can use some free and easy, you know what I'm saying, to help to soften that delivery, to process it. Yeah.
So you saying everybody's under pressure right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, when we just think about the last political election, man, without going into that, too much, there's a lot of distress. It was just like there were people who had a loser's mentality, and some had a winner's mentality.
How did that affect your health?
Well, because there's so much riding on it.
Go with the winner's personality first. How does having a winner's perspective affect your health? Then go to the loser.
It feels lighter. They're more exuberant. They're happy. They're expressive. They're giving their perspective on things, and they have as you said, a positive outlook of what is to come. Okay, and they create this feeling that, hey, we're optimistic about this opportunity. Okay, we're optimistic, and let's see how things can grow and prosper.
What about the loser? The loser energy.
Well,
the day after the Super Bowl, or the night after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, right. It's like, okay, what was riding on it? Okay, I had a bet going. I had this money on this thing, and in order for me to feel this high, because if it goes my way, I'm gonna be like, oh, I feel really good. But now, because I've invested so much energy in my cause, and because it doesn't play out the way that I desire it to, now my attachment, because it's really coming down to what we're attached to. So the attachment to the dopamine hit. Okay, so now we got the dopamine hit coming in now. Okay, and once that happens, you don't get that fixed. Now it's like somebody withdrawing because they don't have enough charge of dopamine. And so, what do you do when when we're craving something? Whether we're craving a food, we're craving an emotion, affection, something that feels good for us. When we don't get it, it's like, how do I get that substance? How do I get an enhancement in that? How do I get a charge? And that charge doesn't come like it's going to take it a low. So depression, repression,
Damn,
lack of expression.
pressure is in all them words.
Yeah.
And so when people in social media see that they're not getting their dopamine hit because likes and shares and followers to a lot of people causes a dopamine addiction. And I feel, excuse me, I know.
They dancing with the dopamine.
How do you have something to help people get off their dopamine addictions? Or is it even possible, especially from social media?
I mean, that is some trial and error, but there's ghosts, there's some ghost songs that's involved in that too.
Ghost songs? What's a ghost song?
But we're gonna have to talk about that at another time. we can't talk about it all today.
Just a sample, he said. Yeah. We just give him just a sample out here. Please drop your city and state where you are and your team Zodiac. I'm OE Sun, Team Taurus. I'm in Winston-Salem. I'm your favorite astrologer. I'm over here rocking it live and direct with Team Pisces. This is your favorite astrologer's favorite doctor, okay? Point blank serious. Been with him since 2010. He been my doctor since 2012. I ain't seen nobody else except the emergency room. He had nothing to do with that. I did that to myself. You know what I'm saying? But it was short. It was very short and I had to go through that by myself. Because when they say, what did Dr. Nardi say? He said, when your cells retaliate, I will not be there with you. Okay. So it's very important to follow instructions. I want y'all hear me say, following instructions saves lives and makes money. It also keep you out the emergency room in another country. Okay, I'm in Bali. I'm going to the emergency room at 2:30 in the morning. That ain't even supposed. Why me? Like he said, that must have been divided mind. That must have been my own example of a divided mind. So let's avoid some divided mind. Can you assist sickle cell? That's for you. They say, can you assist sickle cell? What you mean? Let you speak for yourself.
Yes, because we have to deal with inflammation. So and there's a lack of voltage, and where there's a lack of voltage, there's a breakdown in terrain.
Breakdown in what?
Terrain of the body.
So like you look at the body like a farmer.
Yes.
And what's growing or what ain't.
What's not growing, right? We don't have enough of this, we don't have enough of that. So, but we call it a disease, and because there are certain things that we don't need in certain areas of the world. We're expressing something. The body's expressing something, but we definitely have a way of helping to reduce the inflammation, the fire that's brought about. What brings about sickle cell? There's a person stressed. Okay, in order for the blood cells to elongate, what is causing that? What's the action of that? Are you repressing something? Okay, you call it something, but is this emotional? Is it spiritual? Okay, that is the reason why once we call it a disease, now it becomes a mindset. So the first thing is, are you an individual, not the sickle cell? And you exhibit certain signals, and what we have to do is look at what's causing the inflammation, what's causing the debris to build up. It's your lifestyle. That's it.
I thought sickle cell was like one of those inherited things, like that be dormant in the body and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, people can inherit a lot of different things, but you can transform it too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you ain't got to keep it. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, you don't.
Have you had sickle cell patients in the past?
Oh, absolutely.
So that's not a new thing. You don't have to go and start looking up stuff because you already know where it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about when you said about could be spiritual, could be expression, could I would you recommend Bufo for somebody who suffers from sickle cell or who has that trait?
Well, we just have to make sure that they're prepared to take that, to be in that process. So just to recommend it for them and not know them, we don't. I wouldn't just blindly say, okay, just do it. But
Okay.
let's see where you are, what type of condition the person is in, and then we can go from there. But we definitely want to be able to address the debris after the experience as well.
Okay, because that's the intake process he's talking about. The intake process, right? Of asking them questions. What kind of pharmaceuticals are you on first? That's always going to be the first question for me is what over-the-counter medication are you taking? You know what I'm saying? And then he talked about, so this is going to be our last one because we got to go move the office. He talked about the debris left behind by Bufo, right? So I don't know if people understand like the debris left behind by mushrooms. So can you explain what do you mean by debris first? Because I always say the blood is dirty, and people be like, "What you mean?" I'm like, "Well, we got debris. What does debris mean?" So can you explain debris for people in the blood, and then can you talk about that mushrooms and Bufo leave behind debris? What type of debris do they leave behind?
Okay, well, could you point down to could you put this on the ground here?
Yeah.
Okay, that's debris right there. The leaves are debris, right? Okay, they had a purpose before, right? Okay, they had a purpose, and then just in the general atmosphere here, in the season, in the time of movement, they had a purpose. Okay, now once they reach their cycle of time, it's time for them to return. The same thing if we consume something, eat something, drink something, it's going to go through the process of our body using it for whatever reason or purposes of us experiencing for using it. But afterwards, now we have the extraction process is there because it's not a part originally of our original nature.
Mushrooms are not a part of the system.
No, if they were, we would have them sprouting out somewhere, right? I mean, we do in some regard. But you're planting them, you're consuming them, and things like that. So they're gonna leave behind debris. It's just like consuming food. Okay, we eat food. Okay, and then after it goes through the digestive process, and it nourishes the cells and the organs.
Talk about pork. Let's go to the worst one. Just talk about for example.
I don't. At this point in time, I don't want to address the specifics of that.
Okay.
As far as we're talking about lard in the body and things like that.
Okay.
But I'm only speaking of it in terms of general waste. Whether or not if you eat a cucumber or a salad, it's still going to come out in the form of waste.
Yes, okay.
Right? Okay,
Gotcha.
because it's no longer, it's been extracted. Everything that you need is been extracted from it. So now it's waste. The same thing happens with mushrooms. But there's oftentimes debris left in the organs and in the body that doesn't come out in the solid waste. So now we have to go about using particles to extract the particles, which is things that are on the subatomic level.
Okay, so that's why you actually have the Bufo subatomic particle for people to take after they have a Bufo experience.
That's correct.
Whew. And I know that there's no Bufo practitioner out here that has these particulates because I don't even have them, and I know what particulates are and use particulates and have particulates, and I myself just are hearing about this last week, so I know no one else has Bufo particulates, so that's going to be included in my regimen moving forward and in my training regimen for those who are interested in learning to be Bufo practitioners. Rashid said, doesn't exercise and stress and smoking and kale leave breathing and metabolism in general create debris?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, yeah, exercising, you know, you can have lactic acid in your body. So any type of anything happening is going to create some degree, everything goes through the metabolic process, and because it's going to be fuel for something else.
And so that's why cleaning the blood, that just should be a practice for everybody.
Yeah, I mean it's a continual thing. Right? It doesn't stop.
Can you fast only? Can fasting by itself clean the blood?
Well,
if I go on a 3-day fast, can I have my blood clean?
Yes, but it's not going to clean the particles. You definitely going to slow down, and your body will start to cleanse itself. But you still have to get rid of the particle waste. You got water waste, solid waste, gas waste. That's what nature gave us. But the fourth one is particle waste.
Where's that hiding at then? Because if all the other one was leaving the body, where's the particles hiding at?
It's on the subatomic level, man. I mean, it's stuff that get congested there.
So the particles hide in the cells. Can you clean the cells with herbs?
No. But we gonna stop this.
No, I just want to ask one simple question. That's all. Can you clean cells with herbs? That's all I asked. I didn't want to go no further than that.
That's a macro molecule, not a micro molecule.
Okay, so now micro and macro molecules is where we're gonna pick up next time. All right. Yes, I hope all of y'all picked up something. Yes, thank y'all for being through here, and I think I want some brisket now. This man done started me off with a great conversation, but this damn pumpkin latte, it just need to be a little bit hotter, but you can see what happened to it, right? But next time, I'm gonna do the thug thizzle with it. So, Rashid got all the questions talking about we use ginger tonic to clear it. Listen, there's no one shot. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a plethora. Just like if you run in a garden, you need somebody growing herbs. You need somebody growing vegetables. You need somebody over there watching the lambs. Okay. Then you gotta have somebody who got the tool shed. Then you gotta have somebody watching the solar panels. So the solar panels are not more important than the rosemary, and the cucumbers are not more important than the shovel. So you need all of that. You know, if I was going to rank something at the highest, me particularly as a child of the sun, I'm going to say I'm going to rank the sun as number one, okay? But even the sun needs something to shine on, right? And you can have all these things, and you just inside and you ain't getting no sunlight, and I'm going to be like, go outside. So it's not no one silver bullet for health like everybody wants. You know what I'm saying? So that's it for today. Thank y'all for tuning in. Give my shouts out to who's on here. Rashid, Naj is in the building, Tucci, Chaz, Parrish is in the house, Swaggertrons, what up Marlon? Romulus is in the house, Rena's in the building, and Grateful is in the house. So thank y'all for joining us today. Marcos, if you're interested in a Bufo ceremony, just DM me. If you would like to host one in your city or state, or just do a retreat somewhere. You want to do something in Mexico? We can do this 4-day retreat in any place in the northern and southern hemisphere. So if you want it somewhere in the U.S. or somewhere out of the U.S., please let me know, and we'll jump on that. Yes, we can assist sickle cell patients. Please, I'm going to tag Dr. Amsu in here, so you'll be able to just hit him, or you can just DM me, and I can send you to his contact information. All right, we're going to holler. Peace.